What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh news video, there's actually a few things that I'm going to be talking about in this video, including a brand new Clear Wing Synchro Dragon that is absolutely absurd. I'm also going to be talking about the new Lyrilusc support that's going to be coming out in Duelist pack in the brand new Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm set, and then also I'm going to be talking about the confirmed reprints for Ancient Guardians as well. So let's talk about this new Clear Wing card. This new Clear Wing. It's called Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Literally, that's the name of it. It's a level 10 Wind Dragon Synchro, obviously, with 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. So similar to Crystal Wing Synchro, and it requires a tuner Synchro and a non-tuner Clear Wing monster. So obviously, Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, which is obviously level 7. So you would need a level 3 Synchro tuner. And its effect, and it has 3 effects which are absolutely absurd. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that monster's original attack until the end of the turn. And if you do, this card is unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects this turn. It's a protection on its own. And then the second effect says, once per turn, when a spell or trap or effect is activated as a quick effect, you can negate the activation and destroy it. It's Solemn Judgment. It's its own, like, Solemn Judgment. And then the third effect says, if this Synchro Summon card you control is sent to your grave by an opponent's card, you can add a win monster from your deck to your hand. So it's basically a protection, Solemn Judgment, Rhoda, basically. So it's three different effects in one card. You could just you don't even need to banish it or anything. All you gotta do is just negate the activation, destroy it. Plain and simple. That right there is just absolutely absurd. And the funny thing is that it's generic. If you run Clear Wing Synchro Dragon in your deck, and you run a level 3 Synchro Tuner, it's fucking generic. Literally, it is that fucking generic. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Alright, you guys, now for the reprints confirmed for Ancient Guardians, and go to it. Here we are. And some of these I think I had already talked about. So, did I talk about these? Yeah, I believe I did. Most of these, I think most of these I talked about. So as far as the reprints, you have Phenomenon, the King of Poisonous Snakes, Phenomenaga, the Deity of Poisonous Snakes, Evil Dragon Ananta, Skullmeister, Light Serpent, Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer, Dino Wrestler Pankratops, Dino Power, the Mighty Draco Slayer, Dino Stir Power, the Mighty Draco Slayer, Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer, King of the Feral Imps, Magister Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer, Snake Ring, Trade-In Viper's Rebirth, Ayers Rock Sunrise, Pot of Riches, which I think is for pendulums, Wavering Eyes, Ignite Reload, Damage equals Reptile, Rise of the Snake Deity, and Offering to the Snake Deity. Which, those are some excellent reprints, especially especially Trade-In. Trade-In is an awesome reprint. Being able to discard a level 8 monster to just draw 2 cards, that right there is absolutely incredible. And the Damage equals Reptile is kind of an interesting card. So let me look that up. let me take a look. Hang on, guys. Here we are. Damage equals reptile. Here we are. So the card was actually released. The initial the initial print was Tactical Evolution as a rare. I'm surprised that this is actually the first reprint for this card, and the set was released on August 15th, 2007. So right around the time So right around the time that we were starting to get into the synchro format, basically. But it's a continuous trap card. It says once per turn, when you take battle damage from battle involving a reptile monster, you can special summon a reptile from your deck with attack less than or equal to the battle damage you took. So it's basically it's a card that basically gives you the power to have more and more monsters on the field. And as far as offering to the Snake Deity, I believe you're able to summon Vanaminaga. If I remember right, doesn't that let you summon Vanaminaga? Oh, no. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It says target one face of reptile you control and two cards your opponent controls destroy all 3 times. So it's basically two-prong. It's basically two-prong attack, but for reptiles. And now, as far as Rise of the Snake Deity, I believe this is the one that lets you summon Phenomenon. Oh, I was right. This is the one. This is the card where it says if Phenomenon is destroyed except by battle, you can special summon Phenomenaga from your hand or deck. So it's a really cool card, really awesome card. But yeah. Again, a lot of these reprints are actually really good. Snake Rain's a good one. Viper's Rebirth, Pot of Riches. I think that was the one for Pendulums, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. Shuffle 3 Pendulum monsters into the deck from your graveyard. Shuffle 3 Pendulum monsters into the deck from your graveyard and or face up from your extra deck, then draw 2 cards. You can only activate 1 Pot of Riches per turn. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this card except Pendulum Summon. Yeah, so it locks you out of summoning monsters from the extra deck, it basically locks you out of special summoning from the extra deck except for Pendulum. So if you have Pendulum monsters in your face up in your extra deck, then those are the only monsters you can summon. So you cannot summon any other monsters but those. So it's an interesting card, but those are the reprints. But now let's talk about the new Lyrilusc support. that we have just received. I said that I was going to talk about these I think I said last week I was going to talk about it in today's video. So here we are. First up, we have Lyrilusc Barrel Canary, which is a level 1 winged beast monster, 0 attack, 200 defense, and its first effect is a once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target a Lyrilusc monster in your grave, special summon this card, and that target. But you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Exceed monsters. So yeah, you again, much like with Pot of Riches, this cards like this will lock you out of summoning from the extra deck except a specific card. So in this case, Exceed monsters. Second effect: if a wind exceeds that was summoned using this card on the field as material gain. If a wind exceeds monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material, it gains this effect. Gains 200 attack. Also, possession cannot switch. Ooh! So cards like Creature Swap, cards like Mind Control, Brain Control, unaffected. That's actually really good. That's pretty broken. That's just broken like crazy good. Next up, we have Lyrilusc Celeste Wagtail. It's a level 1 winged beast, same theme. 200 attack, 0 defense. Both of its effects are once per turn. If the card is special summon, you can add a Lyrilusc spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So, I get it now. Okay, so with this, you can summon Barrel Canary and this card, trigger, and then trigger Wagtail's effect, and you're able to add a Lyrilusc spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So it's basically a Stratos for spells, for background, which is really good. If this card is in your grave, you can target a Lyrilusc Exceeds monster you control, attach this card to it as material. So it's funny because if you were to summon I think what was it, Independent Nightingale? Or is it something else? I think Independent Nightingale. Oh, or no, sorry, no. Either Reticle Recital Starling, Reticle Starling, I believe it's called, or Assembled Nightingale. You can detach you can detach Wagtail, trigger. You can detach Wagtail, trigger their effect, and then as Chainlink 1, and then Wagtail's effect as Chainlink 2. Wagtail's effect would trigger, detach, and then you attach Wagtail back onto one of the Exceed monsters, and you can use the effect over and over and over again. That right there is a pretty broken combo right there, because being able to keep two materials on one of your Exceed monsters it's just absolutely broken. It's really, really crazy effect. Next up, we have Lyrilusc Ensemble Robin. It's a rank 1 winged beast exceeds, 0 attack, 0 defense. It requires 2 or more level 1 monsters. Gains 500 attack for each material attached to it. That right there is good. So, if you were to have 3, that's 1500 attack. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can detach a material from his card. They target one of those monsters. Return to hand. So it's basically a compulsory evacuation device with that effect. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. If this card in your possession is sent to your grave by an opponent's card, you can target one other Lyrilusc monster in your grave, add it to your hand. So it's like a monster reincarnation, 1-for-1 type of deal. So with the cost of this card in the graveyard, you can add a Lyrilusc monster in your grave to your hand. So it's kind of like a monster reincarnation. Next up, we have Lyrilusc Prom Thrush, which is again rank 1 winged beast exceeds 0/0, 2 or more level 1s. Gains 500 attack for each material attached to it. Same thing. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card, target a spell or trap your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. So it's basically it's kind of like Wiretap, where or wait, is it Wiretap? No. I think was it like Red Reboot or something like that? It's somewhere along those lines where the card goes back in one of the opponent's back row goes back into the deck, which it's a pretty good effect given the fact that a lot of decks nowadays rely on traps. I'm surprised that there are a lot of decks that run so many traps. Like I know that Eldritch runs a lot of traps. I know that there are some Exodia decks they run. I know that some Exodia decks run. Actually run traps, but still, that's pretty good. And then the third effect says, at the start of the damage step, if another of your monsters battles, you can detach any number of materials from this card. Your battling monster gains 300 attack for each material detached until the end of the turn. That right there is kind of stupid because you would need to have a good amount of monsters to summon this card and to use the third effect. You would need a good amount of cards, a good amount of level 1s to summon it and to be able to detach it. So that effect right there is kind of odd. That's kind of a weird one. Alright, next up we have Lyrilusc Bird Sanctuary, which is the continuous spell for them. You can only use the first and second. Okay, so both of its effects are once per turn. Target 2 winged beasts exceeds monsters you control. Attach one of them and all material attached to it to the other as material. Okay, two winged beasts exceeds monsters you control. Attach one of them to all materials. Attach them and all materials attached to it to the other as material. That's kind of an odd one, but it's kind of crazy because you can actually, because even though you're running this card in a Lyrilusc deck, if you're running a bunch of winged beasts exceeds in a Blackwing deck, this card can actually work in that deck. And then the second effect says if you control an exceeds monster with 3 or more materials, you can draw 1 card. So it's basically, so counting this and your normal draw phase, that right there is a pot of greed. You're basically drawing 2 cards per turn, which is really, really good. Next up we have Lyrilusc Birds of a Feather. Both of its effects are once per turn. Target 1 Lyrilusc monster you control. Change the attack of all face-up monsters your opponent controls to that target. Also, their levels and ranks become 1. Wow. Going into a bunch of level 1s, that's into a bunch of rank 1s. That's actually pretty broken. When an opponent's monster declares an attack on your Lyrilusc monster, you can banish this card from your grave. Your battling monster's attack becomes the same as the opponent's monster until the end of the turn. So it's basically a card where it has the same attack as your opponent's attacking monster, so they're both gonna crash. Unless if your opponent has something to counter it, the cards are gonna crash. So it's really good. Being able to force a crash is really good because that's one less problem that you'll have to deal with from your opponent's board. There's a little note here that says this card references what was it? The Birds of a Feather. Oh, okay, yeah, Birds of the Feather, and an expression of 2 birds with 1 wing each In Asian culture, that refers to inseparable lovers. We went for the most similar English idiom. Yeah, okay, yeah, I thought so. Birds of a feather. So it's basically that. It's basically that term. Yeah, it's actually kind of a cool kind of a cool reference. But the reprints that are going to be for the Lyrilusc archetype, we have Cobalt Sparrow, Sapphire Swallow, which were two of the more used cards that Lulu used in the anime. Assembled Nightingale, and Rectical Starling, I believe is how it's pronounced. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Again, do I think the Lyrilusc are going to be meta? I honestly don't think so, unless there was like some way you can put this into a winged beast deck like Black Witch or something. I really don't see that happening anytime soon. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, actually, before I forget, question of the day. What are you guys' thoughts on the new on the new Clearwing monster? Let me know in the comments below. And again, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, make sure you guys. My fan mail, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.